Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Are you feeling hot in this room today? Yes. Okay, so I have added one of my old videos, like pseudocode, how to write pseudocodes. So this is the second video in the playlist. Okay, so if you need it, please watch this video. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, in the playlist I added one more video. This is an old video, how to write pseudocode. So please watch this video one time at least. Okay. So then you will understand how to write pseudocode. Okay. Another thing is that some of you are asking my help for your lab assignment. Okay, I am not teaching lab course, so I am not entitled to help you specifically for lab course. But I want to help you. I can help you a little bit, but with some condition. I will not code for you. Okay, I will explain the algorithm or a problem to you if you do not understand. You have to code yourself, right? Okay, and another thing is that so it will be better for us to save our time. So if you want to make for any problem, if you want to make appointment with me, please put your whatever you do save in a preferably I prefer GitHub account, in a GitHub project. Okay, if you put in Replit, because then if it is not private, then I will not see it. Because if you put it public, another student will see your assignment or work. Okay, so if you go to my my playlist here, I have a number of playlists, more than 20 playlists. Maybe if you search for control of command F, just search for Git, G-I-T. You see Git and GitHub related videos. So if you watch these 10 videos, then you will understand how to use GitHub. GitHub is a online repository, cloud repository. Mainly if you want to work in collaboration, like team or in a company, nobody will ask you to allow you to use flash drive to copy program code. Okay, so there is this like everybody is familiar with OneDrive, right? You know OneDrive, where we save all of our programs, like Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox. Similar is GitHub. In GitHub, you will be saving your own everything you can save, except not large video. Okay, you can save small video also, but everything you can save. So if you go to GitHub, so it's very easy and it is completely free. So just create your account. Okay, creating GitHub account, it will need just 3 steps, 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. You can use your own or any email address. An email address is needed. If you forget your password, you can retrieve it. Okay, so then if you go to GitHub, so then see you can save all of your like assignment problems, like your resume and your personal documents. You can make it private, so that only you will be able to see what the people you share with will be able to see, you collaborate with. Okay, you see that in my GitHub account I have, you see 153, right? 153 repositories. That means 153 projects. Some of the projects have more than 100 programs, so I have more than 1,000 programs. Okay, so if you go for an interview, the people will ask you sometime your GitHub account. Just by looking your GitHub account, in a minute or in a few seconds, they can understand, they can see that how about your programming practice. Okay, so for instance, you see that this project, you see that is up over here. So at this point there are some changes or some work done over here. You see that this project is going smooth, that means straight, that means for a long time we have not been working over here. For wherever you see that some up and down arrow, we see that, for instance, this one. See, there are some works or updates or works done over here. So people in a second, interviewer in a second can see that what did you do in this project, in your profile. So if you have a GitHub account, or if you are used to in using GitHub, then you will be one step ahead. Then there is a 50% in the first step, 50% chance that you will win the job interview. Okay, so then my deal is that if you want my any help for your lab oriented or any like personal, any other program, then you must create your own GitHub account and then make your GitHub account private, project private. You see that I have some private. If you log into my GitHub account, if you log into GitHub and then see CSITEd expert, if you visit my account, then you will not be able to see my private projects. Only those are public. For instance, this one you will be able to see. Okay, so maybe you can see how maybe I have about 100 public project. So if I go for a job interview, people will see that in a minute, in a second, that how many programs I practice. Okay, so here is the deal. If you need my help for any assignment or any other purpose, you must create your GitHub account and you must create a private project and then collaborate me, add me as a collaborator. Add me means my account CSITEd experts. Okay, then if you spend just 2 hours, okay, maybe just 2 hours, just this 10 videos, 2 hours, then you will have a startup how to use GitHub. Okay, otherwise I will not help you for your public project or your public or your program in Replit or somewhere. Okay, that is the deal. Thank you so much for your understanding. Ultimately, you sometime later, if you do not start now, sometime later you will be required to use GitHub. For instance, if I would teach you a software engineering course, I must require you to use GitHub. So ultimately, at 2 years later or sometime you will need it. So why you not go start right now? Okay. Okay. Then in our last lecture, we discussed. I gave you some homework, right? 4 or 5 programs. How many of you had a chance to work the homework? Your name is Jessica, right? Okay, thank you, Jessica. And how many of you had a chance to work the homework? Did you not try? Yeah, this is the last warning and last. By this weekend, if you do not practice this, then you will be behind. Okay, so my homeworks, there are 4 or 5 programs to practice in 3 languages. It was not a big deal. Okay, just an hour or 2 hours practice. This program, this course is heavily practice oriented. If you do not practice, you will be behind. Believe me. So, in our last lecture, we went to module 1 and module 2, but I have a little bit, I skipped something in module 2. In module 1 part, this one, I skipped something. We are discussing programming primer, and then I went through all of these skeleton, right? I went through all of these. I went through variable, and I discussed what happens if I declare a variable. I asked you to practice this program. And the last thing I skipped over here, how to take user input. Okay, the programs, you have noticed that the previous programs, for instance, this program, in this program, or even the first program, this one, we used hard-coded data. Even I said hello world equal to this, what these programs will give only same result again and again. Okay, so but sometime for our need, in order to serve our purpose, we may need to take any input. So who is in online, please keep yourself muted. Please be muted. Sometime we may need to take our input using keyboard. Okay, in pseudocode format, then we write create. This is the variable create. Okay, so if you write pseudocode, remember that you have to write create all in uppercase. Okay, so create user input, this is my variable, and then you say this is the prompt. Thus it will give a reminder that you have to input your name, and then whatever name you input, say read is read. This is used to assign or mean that you are reading your name using keyboard while you're running your program. So then whatever you give your name, you take your name, enter your name, then you say hello, and then your name. If you enter your name as Jessica, then you will say hello Jessica. If you enter my name Mokhtar, so you will say hello Mokhtar. Okay, this is in pseudocode, and this is in C#. You see the C# for user input, so it's a read line. Okay, so here we are creating a string variable, an object actually, user input, and then we are saying that user input equal to console dot readline. We know what is console, right? Black screen where we saw our output. Okay, so that is the console, and we are taking our input from console. It is possible to take input from another file, like data file or in a database or somewhere. You will learn that later. Okay, and for some, you see the read line, this is a built-in method. You have to exactly write this and read line. Read R in uppercase and line L in uppercase. Okay, practice this please. And this is in C# format of the same problem. This one in pseudocode, and this is in C#, and this is in C++. In C++, it is a little bit different. We use for getLine method, this is a getLine method, to enter a name with space. Sometimes we can use cin to cin like with greater than sign. That does not take space. But for now, remember that getLine method. Remember that getLine is all in lowercase. Okay. And at the end of C++ program, it says return 0. We will learn that. What is meant by return 0? Okay. Later. For now, you can say return 0 or return 1, whatever you say, that does not matter. But this is the code actually you have to remember. This line. C#, in C#, in C++, and in Java. In Java, this is a little bit one more extra line we need. So for instance, we need to create a scanner object. So scanner SC, scanner S is in uppercase. So new scanner, then within system.in, remember that sorry, in Java, in order to print something, right, we use system.out.print, right? So here, in order to take input, you need to put system.in. You have to pass this system.in. System means operating system, and in is an input stream, and you have to hook up your input stream with the operating system through the scanner method to your scanner object. So later, even not in this course, the next course or at the end of this course, maybe you will be familiar with class or what is the scanner class. But for now, just memorize this. How do we memorize? I like you to write this code, same code, 4 or 5 times in a piece of paper. Okay? Then you will be like pretty memorized, half memorized, right? Then type this program 3 or 4 times. You will do some mistake, no problem, okay? fix it, then ultimately you will memorize these 3 lines. Okay, so I like everybody, before you come to our next lecture, please for now it will be your life will be easier just you memorize this. Okay, for now let us consider that these are some abstract terms. Don't go in depth, just memorize. Okay, in our daily life I discussed that we use abstraction a lot. Okay, for C#, so C# people, we need to int 32. Okay, there are 32 or 64, and integer is taking 32 bits, right, memory size. So the method they name C# developer, they say to int 32. So whatever you are taking the input, that is converting to integer number. Okay, for you have to convert this for age. Okay, for integer number, because your age is integer. Okay, please practice this. And this is for okay, C++. You say C in, if you take C in, you will be able to take only one input without any space. C in does not allow to use any space. Okay, so if you need to input your name, for instance your full name, that usually formed with first name then space last name, right? So then in order to take space in C#, C++, you need to use C get line method. So C in C++ it will be a little bit tricky. Okay, but we need to memorize that older languages. One of the older languages is C++, but in C# and Java people made it a little bit easier. Okay, but this taking input is not easier than other thing, so you need to spend some time to be familiar with this, right? So whatever we learn from this lesson, that we can read a number or take a number or at least any number using keyboard while running our program. Okay, and then our next part will be doing mathematical or any mathematical or arithmetic operations. So we know that we are familiar with this operator, right? Plus, minus, division, multiplication. These are we are familiar with. Okay, the same thing as we are familiar in our algebra course or regular mathematics. So this will be another homework. For instance, write a program that asks the user weight in pounds. So you need to take an input, right? Weight, how many pounds? Will be 100 pounds, 120 pounds, no problem. And print, the output will give you how much he or she was on the moon. How much he or she would be if she would be in moons, if he or she goes to moon. Okay, so then in general you have given a note how to convert your weight from this earth to moon. Okay, so your weight will be 16.5% of your earth weight, right? So if you are given your weight here in earth 100 pound, in moon, if you go visit moon, then you will be 16.5 pound. Okay, so try to, let me see if there is a solution. Okay, try to solve this problem. Okay, it's not big deal. Okay, whatever input you will take, your moon weight will be, you need another variable, moon weight, that will be your input, earth weight times 16.5. That's it. Okay, divided by 100. Percentage means 100, right? Okay. So solve this problem, and there is another problem that asks you to convert temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius, or you can try Celsius to Fahrenheit or Celsius to Kelvin. Okay, these are the small programs. Try practicing from this beginning. Okay, so then ultimately, while you start from the beginning, you will be able to start or learn, your brain will be able to solve a larger or a complicated program. Okay, do not jump into complicated program right now, and maybe there is another program. Okay, So now if you practice this program, that 5 or about 6, 7, 8 programs I asked you to practice, then you should be able to work your assignment. Okay? So if you ask my help for your assignment, first of all, I will ask you to see this practice program. If you cannot show me that you practice this program, I will not help you for your assignment. Okay? Understand? Because I'm not bound to help you for your lab course. I am teaching lecture course. Okay? But if you, anyone, anytime, this is my teaching philosophy. Anyone asks me for additional extra help, I first ask, okay, show me your GitHub account, or show me your Replit account, or at least show me your computer, how many practice program you did practice. If I see that you did not practice, or if you do not practice, then I am reluctant to help you. And I guess that you will not do well in this course. Do you understand my policy? My policy is to help you. But my policy is to, I told you that I will help you to how to walk in the field of programming, not run in the field of programming. You have to learn yourself how to run in the field of programming, right? So anyone has any questions so far? Yes. Yes. In this course, everybody has to practice all programs in 3 languages. What are those languages? Yes, Java, C# and C++. No matter what is your lab language, okay? You understand? You are ultimately, within the next 2 or 3 years, you will be learning 4 or 5 languages. In this semester, you are learning 3 languages. You are helping you learn 3 languages, right? Then you are going to be mastering at least 1 language. That is your lab language, right? And you are going to be familiar with 2 other languages. So my suggestion will be, whenever you get some extra time, during semester break or even in the weekend, if you find you have some good mode, then practice your program, convert your program in, like for instance you are taking Java, convert your program to C#. One thing that maybe I can share you something. So if you go to our first year experience page, in the resource page, maybe at the last you see that other, this link, I also put this link in your D12. So click here, key differences between C#, C++, and Java. I made this slide personally, okay? So you see that languages, C++ is the older languages, one of the older languages. It was developed, first appeared 1983, and then Java 95, and then C# it appeared in 2000. And these all languages, there are 80% coding syntax are same or identical. Okay. So then if you go the languages, the first difference will be these are the few differences. First few differences. The structure of the main method is different, like in C++, C# and Java, right? I discussed this, right? Okay, and the second output statement is different, right? I discussed this earlier, and the input statement is different. I discussed this today. Okay, and then some keywords are different. I discussed maybe in previous classes that some in C++ there are underscore. Okay. In constant declaration is different. I discussed in last lecture. Okay, and then there are other differences. One of this is switch case statement, and another is other differences are coming for object-oriented programming mainly. Okay, so you will face the 6 differences in language to language, and almost 5 of these we have already familiar with discussed. Okay, so the first difference is that main method, right? In C++, this is our main method. In C#, our main method is like this is. Okay, we write this. And at this point, do not ask me what is namespace. Okay, Okay, so namespace is for now, memorize it as an abstract term. In our daily life, we use abstraction a lot. In this morning, if you drove here, okay, when you started your car, your vehicle, you just put in your key in the ignition system and you click and then you started, right? Is that required for you to know how the ignition system works, how the vehicle started? You did not require to learn that, right? You just wanted to start your car, and then everything else behind whatever is going is abstract or hidden to you, right? Okay, so this is the C1 first difference, and then output statement is different, C++, Java, and C#. I discussed this. And then input statement, I just told you the input statement is different. C++ this, in Java this, and in C# this. Okay, and then some keyword like bool in C++ and C#, and boolean in Java. Okay, and constant declaration, I discussed this. In pseudocode format, we write constant keyword, then this is real, then for instance type, and then interest rate. This is my constant name. And this is in pseudocode, this is in C++, Java, and C#. Okay, on all cases, capitalization is recommended but not required. Okay, so the 5 difference, the 6 difference, we will get it in 2 weeks. We will discuss this later. Okay, so these are the 6 differences, major differences, language to language. I think we have discussed 5 of these, right? So everybody, I like everybody, if possible, take it print out. Okay, take a print out and then okay, anyone has any questions so far? Now our task today, I went through module 1 and module 2. So anyone has any question? So we have completed the first 4 modules, right? Or 3? Okay, 3 modules. Module actually 0 was nothing. So module 1, part 1, part 2, and module 2, part 1 we have completed, and today we will see module 2, part 2. Okay, I like everybody to download these slides, and if possible, take a printout. You can do 2 slides, you can print 2 slides on one page and print it in both sides. Okay? So module 2, part 2, we will talk about data type and expression. Okay, so what is an expression? In English, by expression, we mean a statement through which we, or a sentence through which we express something, whatever we are in our mind, right? In our mind. So in mathematics, we are familiar with expression, right? So we are familiar with give me 1 second. Okay. So in mathematics, we are familiar with, for instance, y equal to x plus 2. This is an expression, right? We are expressing the relation between 2 variables through an equation, right? This is a simple straight line equation or something. In algebra, we say an equation, and in geometry we say this is a straight line, a equation of a straight line, right? And in computer science programming we will say this is an expression. We are expressing the relation between two variables, x and y, right? So this is an expression. So here, so this one, and this one, these are operators. These are operators, and these are variables. These are our variables. So these are variables, x and y, these are variables, okay? And equal, and these are operators, okay? And 2 is constant, okay? So we know that, so each data, so here 2 is data, and the value x and y that will, those are will be also data, right? So based on the type of data, we have to declare our variable with appropriate data type. So these 3 languages we are discussing here are static type binding, that is type declaration is mandatory, is required, okay? So we will discuss, we are familiar with this, right? We will discuss something more in depth in this lesson, in this module. So what is an expression? An expression is a combination of one or more operator and operand. So here 2 is an operand, okay? So sometimes we say constant, right? 2 is constant. This is also an operand, and also x and y are operand. And sometimes we see that we say 1 into x, right? And 1 into y, right? Nothing means 1. So we say the coefficient, right? Here 1 and this 1, these are coefficient. So if you have coefficient, that's also our operand, our data. Okay. So we know that, we learned that we have to declare our data type and value that result. Okay, so according to data type, an expression give us a result or a value, okay? And so we discuss our operand, right? So our operand can be a literal, that means be a string literal or something encoded by double quote, okay? Or it may be constant, something like this is also or it can be variable. So variable, constant, or literals, both are operands. So operator or operators work on operand, okay? So first of all, we need to know about the operators. So from the very beginning, we are familiar with the operators, like mathematical operation, right? When we are a little bit very baby, even before we start our school, we know what is 2 plus 2, right? Okay, we are taught by our parents that 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. So, can I tell you a joke that I just remind? So, never mind if it's, don't take it personal, okay? So, there's an interview, okay? A group of people are taking an interview for many students. The common question was, what is 2 and 2? What is 2 plus 2? Okay, the first guy, he was a mathematics major student. He said 2 and 4. Okay, it's a good. The next, this guy came, he was a statistics student. Okay, so they want to probably, like a lot. So then he said probably 4. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you. Then the next person, the computer scientist. He said, in which operating system, in which number system? Are you asking 2 and 2? He asked which number system, right? You know the different number system has different terms, right? So he asks in which number system are you asking 2 and 2? So it's a little bit complicated. That's a good idea. That means you understand. The next guy, he can just say like lawyer, law major. Then they ask him, what is 2 and 2? Then he was telling, how much do you need? You understand? He asked, how much do you need? Then you will be able to make whatever the interviewer needs. Okay, but we know that so 2 and 2 is 4. Okay, so we are familiar with plus, minus, division and multiplication sign, right? So in the first day, and except the modulo operator, this is not percentage. Sign is called percentage sign, we are familiar with, but in computer science we will say this is modulo operator, modulus operator. Okay, so modulus operator, what it does, it gives the remainder when you divide a number by another number. Okay, so for instance, if so if my number is, for instance, 10 modulo 2 equal to, can anybody tell me? No, I'm telling you, modulo means what is the remainder? 0, yes. If you divide 10 by 2, then modulo will be 0, right? Okay, so modulo will be 0. If you say 15 modulo, let me make it 4, then what will be result? 3. Everybody understand, right? Okay, so then if I say 23 modulo 4 equal to what? Also 3, right? Okay, so modulo, this operator gives us the remainder. Okay, if you divide the first number by the second number, if it is divisible, then what is the remainder? If it is not divisible, then the result is as the what is the first value. Then what is 3 modulo 4? Who can answer this? You know that 23 modulo 4 is equal to 3, right? 3 modulo 4 equal to? Yes, it is 3. It's not divisible, then remainder. Okay, so it is 3 equal to 3. Okay, everybody understand this? Anyone has any doubt? Okay. Oh, I have some I'll put over here. So practice this, okay? So there is another thing is that when we are familiar with the division, this operator, division operator, there are two kinds of division. One is integer division and another is floating point division. So when you say integer division, okay, 25 divided by 3 equal to 8. So yeah, let us see this cover this. Let us give attention here, these 3. Okay, so 25 divided by 3 in that means in integer division. Okay, so this one is 8. It will not take the decimal point, but if you say 25.0 divided by 5, or if you say 25 divided by 5.0 equal to then 5.0. Okay, so this is called floating point division. If at least one of these is float decimal, the result will be decimal. If both part both numerator and denominator are integer, then the result will be integer. Okay, but at least either numerator or denominator or both is float or double, your result will be float or double. Okay, understand? Result will come up. Okay, and this one is 25 modulo 3 equal to 1. It always modulo operator always does integer division. Okay, anyone has any questions so far? That's good, these are simple. Okay. So operators are mainly divided into three categories. One is called, let me see if we have this. One is called binary operator, another is called, let me see, here. I'm sorry, I don't have this here. Okay. Operators, all operators are mainly so all of, I'm sorry. So all operators are mainly classified into two types. Number one, binary operators. Binary operators. Okay, so plus minus division, it takes, all of this operator takes two operands, one left side and the right side. Okay, binary operators, bi means two, takes, all operator take two operands. And there are unary operators. Unary operators that takes only one operand. So whenever we say -5, right? So it takes only one operator. But if we say 5 minus, is it complete? Is this a complete statement? No, right? So it at least needs something, at least 0 or something, right? Then it is meaningful, right? But this is itself meaningful, right? It is correct, but this is not correct. So this is, all binary operators take two operands. Okay, and there are some unary operators like minus, and if the number is already plus positive, then plus sign is optional. This is unary plus. Okay, so that then plus 5, by means plus 5, we already know that this is positive 5. That is not required to plus. But if it is negative, then we must need to use the negative sign, right? Okay, so these operator, this plus and this minus, these are called unary operator. It takes only one operand. But this plus, this minus, or even if we say make it plus, this is binary operator. It takes two operand, one left side and the right side. Okay, so operators mainly divided in two types, unary and binary operators. So mainly the operators we will discuss, mainly these are binary operators. Most of them are, there are some unary operators that we discuss, we know of this, but there are some unary operators like plus plus, incremental operator, minus minus. We will discuss this later. Or sometime negative Boolean negative negation. Okay, so we will discuss this, but these operators we are discussing, these are for now, these are binary operators. There are few or one ternary operator. This takes three operands. Okay, when we get it, I will discuss this. I will show you, tell you which one is ternary operator. But for now, remember that operators are mainly classified in two ways, unary and binary. Okay, so these are the binary operators. All these operators take two operands, right? One in the left, another is right side. Even the equal sign, the assignment operator, it takes two operands, one in left side, the entire thing left side, and the entire thing in right side. Okay. Okay, so when we do our arithmetic operation, two things we consider. So the operator precedence and associativity. Okay, for instance, yeah, maybe I gave you an example, right? So two things we need to consider. One is called precedence and associativity. Read this in your book. Book has detail. Okay, in the book it has detail. One thing you need to know: operator precedence and associativity. Okay, precedence means, okay, so which one will be executed fast? Sure. I'm doubt maybe there is mistakes in these slides. Okay, so let me tell it my way. So as we know that we discussed this, like 25 divided by 5 times 5 equal to what? 25, right? So here there is no parenthesis, right? So precedence means, so which operation you have to work first. Okay, and then associativity means from left to right or right to left. Okay, so here we know that division and multiplication operator, they have same precedence, but sometimes people become misguided that the multiplication has had precedence. It's not. Okay, so division and multiplication, they have like plus and minus, they have same precedence, but in this case we need to consider associativity, that we go from left to right or right to left. You know that there are some languages, even human languages, that are read from top to bottom. You know, Chinese language, they are written and read from top to bottom. Japanese language, other language. There are some languages like Arabic, maybe Persian, they are written or read from right to left. But we are familiar with from left to right? English is written, most of the languages in the world are written from left to right, but Arabic is written from right to left. Okay, so in our mathematical operations, sometimes it goes left to right or right to left also. All of you are familiar with all of this, but maybe you did not know that what is this called. What is this called is associativity or precedence. Okay, so the highest precedence we would have if there is a if there was a parenthesis here, the result would have been different, right? The result would be, so then result would come, what would be result? 1, right? So that means the parenthesis has the highest precedence, right? Okay, so we have to do this part first whenever you have parenthesis. Then 25 divided by 25 equal to 1. Otherwise, if there is no parenthesis, then we say 25 divided 5 equal to 5, then times 5 equal to 25. So in our mathematical or arithmetic operation, we have to consider this. Okay, please read the book. The book has example and then more elaborate of this. But we have here a few examples, I believe. So if we have like plus a number a plus b plus c plus d, so then 1 means which one has the highest precedence. Okay, and if you have same, associative means from which order, left to right. Okay, associativity is left to right, so this plus will be executed first, then this plus will be executed, then this plus will be executed, then this plus will be executed. Okay, and then for instance this one, if you have for any value of a, b and c and d, okay, a, b, for any value. So for instance this one, understand this one, Jessica? For instance, we are considering this one. You see that why 1 is given over here? What does this mean? This one mean? This one is, we are asking the precedence is first, 1. Okay, highest precedence 1 has, okay? It will be executed fast. Then which one has the next precedence? Yes, division has the next precedence, right? Then it will come plus from left to right. Then it will go 4. Okay, so you understand 1, 2, 3, 4. Why these are written 1, 2, 3, 4? Now, for instance, look this. Practice for this. Okay, this and this. This is another problem, and this is another problem to practice. This is 2 and this is 1. Okay, there are 4 problems over here. Okay, I know everybody is familiar with this, but just recap this. Anyone has any questions so far? Yes. Okay, good question. I like your question very much. So this is the question, that how the programming languages are created or generated or developed. It's developed. Whenever people, the developers develop the programming languages, they implemented this already. These are already implemented or is abstract to us. Okay, like a calculator. Whenever you put this in calculator has a program that already implemented those, right? And whenever you write your program, for instance, you don't need to do anything. For instance, this operation, it will do automatically because the program knows. But for our understanding, we are recapping this. Okay, so yes, that, for instance, if you want to write your own language, okay, I'm writing in my own, and I'm trying to develop my own language. Developing a language takes long time, years after years. There are maybe thousands of people are trying to develop language, but only a few become successful, like Python, like Ruby, C#, F#. These are the languages like many people work together to develop languages. Okay. For instance, you know that there are some languages, human languages, only a few people know. This is like a question. What is the language that only the fewest people in this world use? You know that what is that language? Only fewest people. Which is the language that fewest people use? Sign language. Sign language is the language that only a few people use, right? Okay. So for instance, if you want to develop a new human language, then what do you need to do? You need to develop a vocabulary, right? A dictionary, right? With some words, right? Then you need to develop grammar, right? Whenever you develop grammar, then you have to define some rules, right? So in English we say past tense, present tense, future tense, right? Then it depends on the gender. Like it is it's called, is number. If it is a first person singular number, third person singular number, then we say he goes or she goes, right? We do not say he go, right? If you say he go, then your grammar will find a mistake, right? Okay, but if I say he went, I went, you went, then it's fine. It depends on the tense, it depends on the number, gender, lot of things, right? So when you develop the language, you consider all of this. So when the languages are generated or developed, these are already considered. That's a good question. Anyone has any other question? Okay, I like this course to be active, this lecture. So ask some question. Okay, whatever you have in your mind. Okay, ask this question, then we will have an interactive way. Okay, maybe from the sometime next week I will give you some task to do here. I will move around the hall. Okay, now it is my time to develop a foundation. Whenever we have a foundation, just write program, then I will give you some activity, in class activity. Okay, so this is we said equal sign, it is called assignment operator. It assigns the right side value to the variable in the left side. Okay, assignment operator, always remember that it goes from right to left. So the associativity is from right to left. Okay, we are familiar with this assignment operator, equal sign. Okay, and this is another assignment operator. Whatever the right side value will be executed first, and that result will be assigned to answer, right? And this is the unary operator. This is shortcut for plus plus, 2 plus plus without any space in between. This, it increments its operator by operand by 1, and it decrements by its operator by 1. There are two notations of incremental and decremental operator, prefix and postfix notations. This is called postfix notation. It also can be written as plus counter. This is called prefix notation. Both of these do same thing, count equal to count plus 1, but there is a little bit variation. We will discuss this maybe in our next lecture, or so this is prefix and this is postfix. Okay, so this is postfix. Let me give you an example. This is called prefix. Whenever we say use plus plus or minus minus before the operand, this is called prefix. And postfix, then whenever we use after the operand, that is postfix. In the postfix notation, it uses its old value. The postfix notation, it uses its old value, then it increments the operand by 1. But in the prefix notation, first it increment the old value by 1, then it uses the newest incremented value, and for this statement as well as the subsequent statements. So the difference is that in postfix notation, it uses the old value, then the implementation is executed from the next statement or for the next iteration. Okay, and this incremental operator, the increment is executed right away. Okay, so these are the shortcut notation for this plus equal to, this one equal to, for instance, a plus equal to 3. This is the shortcut of a equal to a plus 3. Okay, these are the shortcut notation. Okay, so please try to use this shortcut notation. Okay, and this is the sometime, for instance, this is the shortcut notation. So please have these slides, and maybe this is same thing, but there are some common errors. For instance, you may for instance this one, read this slide, try to figure out what is the problem and then how to solve it. Is very critical. Okay, something. But for instance, this one means something, it equal to a equal to plus 2, a equal to 2, and this one means plus equal to 2, that means a equal to a plus 2. Very different between these and this. Okay, I have 3 more slides. Let me finish this. Okay, so please go these slides. These are not too complicated. Okay, so one thing that is called typecasting, I will discuss this in our next lecture with some live code. Okay, with an example, typecasting. That means typecasting is that converting one data to another data type, converting an integer number to a float number on the fly, or converting a floating number to an integer number on the fly. Okay, this is what I will discuss in our next lecture. So this is what we have discussed in this lecture. We understand expression, how to combine one or more operator and operand to make an expression, how to evaluate expression, and then we discuss the operator types, binary and unary operator, and we learned actually a new operator that is called Modulus Operator that finds the remainder. Okay, and the last thing I will discuss in next lecture is typecasting. That is an important thing, but we don't have enough slide over here, but I will discuss this with live program in our next lecture. Anyone has any questions so far? That's good, everybody. Thank you. You can leave. So anyone from online has any question? People from online, if you have any question, then you can ask me. Okay, if you don't have any question, then you can leave. Thank you so much, but please practice those 5-6 programs I asked you to practice before you come to our next lecture. Okay. Thank you so much. Computer is not running? What is not running?